Okay, this is step 7, managing risk. This is a business task. We have a bunch of business tasks to do in step 7, but this one is about managing risk and also hiring inspectors. A little while back, founder of Internachi, Nick Gromicko, certified master inspector, wrote a home inspector's guide to managing risk. This is a really good short guide. It's about 50 pages long. It's a good read. And let's take a look at it. You can buy a printed copy. You can get one for free also just by downloading the PDF version. Sleep Well, a home inspector's guide to managing risk. Click the link and read it, but choose at least 3 strategies to incorporate into your business. So there's the book there, and you can click the link and download it. It's got some really good information. So inside the book, Sleep Well, on page 20, there's a section of the book, Do You Have Fear of Hiring? And it goes, once I heard an Internachi member say at this point, I feel that I really can't afford to hire help. And my response was the following. Notice your use of the word feel. Well, anyway, your employees shouldn't cost you anything. Maybe what you meant to say is, I don't have the capital to cover their first few paychecks until they begin to bring in more money than they cost to employ. Maybe that's what you meant, instead of having a feeling that you can't hire anybody, right? What you want to do is get past feelings and fear and analyze what is actually stopping you from growing your inspection business and hiring someone. So maybe the problem was a lack of temporary cash flow, or it could be something else. Maybe what you really meant to say is, I have the capital to cover their first few paychecks until they bring in more money than they cost to employ, but I won't hire them. I won't hire them because unless an employee can actually hand me a certain amount of cash at the end of the day that is greater than what I paid him that day or her that day, my brain won't let me attribute the additional profits indirectly generated by that employee's efforts to that particular employee. So I only focus on what I'm paying the employee and not what the employee is paying me indirectly by making my company more profitable. So it's a lack of business acumen, right? Or is it? Or maybe what you really meant to say is, I have the capital to cover their first few paychecks until they bring in more money than they cost me to employ. And I realize that although an employee might not actually hand me a certain amount of cash at the end of the day that's greater than what I paid him or her that day, I do attribute the additional profits indirectly generated by that employee's efforts to that particular employee. So I don't focus on what I'm paying that employee, but rather on what the employee is paying me indirectly by making my company more profitable. Good. However, I don't think I'll be able to accurately quantify the profits generated indirectly by the employee, and that keeps me from hiring. So it's a lack of financial analysis skills. That's the problem. Or is it? Or maybe what you really meant to say is, I earn enough to pay my bills, my spouse has a steady job, and between the two of us, we live comfortably and can afford a few luxuries, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid of being poor, so I work hard and take few risks. I'm afraid of being rich, so I don't hire because hiring is a risk. If I were to hire somebody, I would be afraid to hire someone much different than me, or someone much more confident than me, or someone much smarter than me. So it's a problem with dealing with your fears. Look, unless you were born with some kind of freak ability of hitting a small ball over the center field fence, it's very difficult to get rich without good help. You have to hire somebody to help you in your business. You can overcome your fears by doing some preparation work. Ask yourself what you'd look for in a good boss at a home inspection company, and then be that boss. And you can start by understanding what every employee needs in order to succeed at their job. And this short guide helps you prepare to answer those questions that you have in mind and prepare you to hire somebody. Now, what I suggest is you read starting from page, what was it? Page 20 on. And there's a few more pages to read. And it would take you 10 minutes to read it. It's a really good investment of 10 minutes. If you're interested in getting over your fear of hiring somebody and expanding your business. So what I did was a lot of people just don't know what to do on how to pay another inspector to do their job. So there's a few options. One of them is, the first thing you got to do is write up a job description and all the tasks that are involved for that new position in your company. And if it's an inspector, well, that's fairly easy to do because we have what you need. It's a very long, let's see, NACHI.org. Go to NACHI.org page. It's a very long document about all the tasks that are involved in order to perform a home inspection. And you type in the search field, JTA. So you go to search on a NACHI.org page, type in JTA, and JTA stands for Job Task Analysis, and you click Job Task Analysis. And this is actually a list of all the tasks a home inspector may perform, as well as the knowledge, abilities, and skills required to do those tasks. So we broke them down. And this can help you explain what a home inspection is in your company and figure out what particular tasks that new employee is going to do for you to grow your business. So in basic terms, in general terms, there's three things. They collect data, they evaluate data, which takes some time and experience and wisdom, and then they communicate data. That's writing an inspection report. But this first domain, collecting data, you can hire somebody to collect data for you during an inspection. And maybe they start off with things that they can't screw up. Like when I started off hiring people, they did windows, doors, floors, walls, ceilings, interior, smoke detectors, maybe then move into the kitchen or the garage, because there's checklists to do the kitchen appliances. We have a kitchen appliance checklist. So you follow the checklist, you enter the data, you collect the data. And then if there's a defect, that's a domain where you may need someone with experience in order to figure out if the new inspector's observations can be considered like good or bad. Is this a defect or not? And what type of defect? And we learned that there are several different types of defects. 4. So you could hire somebody to start off slow. And your goal may be at the end of the month, they're ready to do a home inspection on their own, or they're ready to do a home inspection with supervision, depending upon their experience. Where are they going to get the knowledge on how to collect house data? NACHI. So you take every home inspector that you hire, every person that you hire, and you make them, and you make them certified through NACHI, provided by an accredited college, a home inspector college. You push them through the certification requirements, and you take them through the home inspector certificate program, and they can prove where they are in their knowledge. So they have the knowledge to come in. They start off slow with windows and doors and things that they can't hurt and screw up, and they gain experience, and their abilities turn into skills. When you combine knowledge and abilities, then you have a skill set, and you keep growing them. Maybe you have a goal at the end of the month, or at the end of the quarter, or at the end of the summer, at the end of 3 months, they can do an inspection on their own, and you give them that goal to hit. Now, how do you pay them? Well, There's a couple options to that too. You could pay them hourly. You could pay them part-time. You could pay for somebody to work for your company for only 4 hours a day, maybe 5 hours a day. That's probably a better thing. For me, it was 5 hours a day. I needed somebody at least 5 hours a day. An hour driving, and 3 hours in the middle. That's a 5 hour day. You come in, we go, you're my helper, I'm training you, you go back home. And I pay you hourly, right? You could also hire somebody who is interested in taking, when they learn how to do a home inspection, let's say they want a bigger hourly wage, or maybe they take half. So if I'm charging $400 for a home inspection, they go home with $200 and I keep $200 for doing nothing, essentially, but managing them. That sounds pretty good. If they do 5 inspections a week, if I can give them 5 inspections a week, they're making $1,000 a week. That's like $50,000 job. A lot of people would be interested in doing a $50,000 job, working 1 home inspection a day. That takes probably 5 hours. Bringing home $200, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's pretty good pay. It's pretty high pay, actually. Another one would, well, you know, and then you start to move up with what you could hire out another home inspector. I've done that. I mean, many home inspectors just get into the business and they don't know what to do and they're unsuccessful and they don't have jobs. So you are a successful home inspector and your marketing, remember we learned this, in step 1. The purpose of marketing is to not fill your calendar, but to have it overflowing so that you can hire people. You may want to hire someone who's already established, a home inspector who can wear your shirt. They come to the place, or the office or something, and they put on Big Ben Inspections shirt. Or they promise to go to the house wearing a Big Ben Inspections shirt, right? And they can show up in their own home inspection truck, but when they're there, they are Big Ben Inspections. And you can handle that discrepancy. You know, they pull up in a Mary's home inspection vehicle, but they're doing a Big Ben Inspections, right? You can handle that. There are ways to handle those things. So there are a lot of ways to bring somebody on board in a very controlled, slow manner. And give yourself probably a month or 2 or 3. And then, you know, that 3rd month, I would say they really should be able to go on their own and make you money without you being with them. For me, it was real quick. I wanted somebody who was really interested in being a home inspector already and was going through InterNACHI courses or spent a lot of money at a class and was disappointed and didn't know what to do, got confused by it because they didn't go to a home inspector college. They went to some other training entity, right? And I provided them with everything that they weren't able to do. So they were able to perform a basic home inspection, but they weren't able to run a business. And remember, one of the first things you need to do is start to switch your mind from thinking of yourself as a home inspector to thinking of yourself as a business owner. I own and operate a home inspection business. And as soon as you start thinking that, then you realize, I gotta get somebody to do the home inspections for me, or at least the hard stuff. Somebody gotta carry my tools around or something, right? Because you're doing so much other work, the marketing, the essential business strategies, and so hiring somebody is, because when you first start off, man, you are everything. You're doing the marketing, the business, the taxes, the phone calls, the customer service, the emails, the follow-up, the report writing. And on top of that, you got to do all the home inspections and drive. So I did that for a while. And then I realized, yeah, I could hire somebody to do a home inspection. I could figure out a marketing strategy that makes my calendar overflow, and I have to start dishing out jobs, and I take a piece of the job that I dish out in one way or another, whether they're directly working for me and we have an agreement between how much money I get and how much money, I like the lion's share, how much money I get and how much money they are happy with, or some other agreement. But it has nothing to do with feelings. It has everything to do with asking yourself the right question. What are you actually asking? What is actually the barrier for you to move to that next step where you grow your business? Because when you're alone, growing your business only goes as far as your reach of your arms. I mean, you really can't grow. You can't scale yourself. You can do more inspections faster, but you're probably going to make more mistakes. So you can also, another strategy would be just to get into the luxury high-end clients where you're making a home inspection and it's $1,000. So we had peach inspections, but we had the idea of having a package for the high-end multi-millionaire client, right? The luxury client. It was called Peach Platinum. And it was a $2,000 package. It included a lot of things, and it took all day to do, but you gross $2,000 every day. So that's another way of doing it. If you're not actually going to grow the number of inspectors in your company, then you have to think of something else to make more money. Ancillary inspections and bundling is an excellent way to start. But you have to remember marketing. You can't just be technically good, competent at performing home inspections. That doesn't make money. That doesn't grow your business. It's both. You have to be good at what you do, and you also have to tell people that you're good at it. And that's marketing. So read the guide. It's free. Download it or order it, have it shipped to your house, read it, and choose at least 3 strategies to incorporate into your business.